The Socialist Member of Parliament, Dawn Butler, has done another rant against Suella Braverman. Why? Because of Suella's skin colour. Yes, this is the new kind and gentle politics of the Labour Party. So compassionate, so progressive, so tolerant and liberal is the British political left. So, it won't be surprising if the so-called far right is offensive. They're supposed to be, according to the media and establishment. But they keep telling us that the political left are angels. They are basically a bunch of angels who just were sent to planet Earth by God, I'm guessing, to save us from ourselves. They could do no wrong. And they love humanity. And they love the poor. And they hate the rich. Even though the rich are also humans. But no, it doesn't count anymore. And white people, they don't count either. Now, we have Dawn Butler. Now, she did this a couple of days ago. Some of you might have already seen on social media. I'm just reacting to it now late. I'm joining the game late on this issue. But I had to take my time. Watch this. This is Dawn Butler talking about how Suella Braverman, as Home Secretary, the only reason she's there is because of her skin colour. Because you need a Home Secretary who's brown to talk about migration. There's a problem with that argument. Let's watch it.
I think they're kidding themselves and are extremely delusional in thinking that they will be seen differently when push comes to shove.
Yeah.
They get promoted because of the things that they're saying. So you couldn't really have a white Home Secretary saying the sort of things that Suella's saying and get away with it that easily, I don't think.
Okay. Let me give you a couple of names. I'm just going to say that they were Home Secretaries who were very tough on crime and everything else. I'm not saying they were good Home Secretaries. I'm just saying they existed. Amber Rudd and Theresa May. Are they from Jamaica or Nigeria? If you could help me with that, that would be great. And they were at least the rhetoric was still very much, law and order, very right-wing, according to the Labour Party. And then she said, so that's nonsense. The reason that we have Suella as Home Secretary and we had Priti Patel who failed, but the reason she was appointed was, yes, Dawn is right, was because of the things they were saying, because they were tough on these issues. It's because they were the only ones, at least with rhetoric, they were more brave and stronger to say it compared to all the other vanilla MPs that we have in the House of Commons. But it's irrelevant. Their skin colour is irrelevant because Theresa May used to say the same things as Home Secretary. When Theresa May was seen as a socially conservative authoritarian Home Secretary, she was saying the same thing, that she was white, as far as I know. I don't know how she self-identifies, but I'm pretty sure Theresa is not Chinese. Now, there was a reaction to this as well. Lee Anderson was on Dan Wootton's show last night, and he didn't see the clip before, and then obviously Dan Wootton showed the clip, and this is what Lee Anderson said.
That is actually disgusting. You know, this is a Labour Party that will have all in shortlists. They will select and recruit and promote people based on their sex. For Dawn to say that, that's probably, since I've been elected, the most awful, disgusting, and it's quite racist thing I've ever seen.
That is a good point. Absolutely. So there is discrimination. And according to the left, there is positive discrimination, which is apparently not discrimination, even though it is. But let's just for the sake of the argument, be supportive of positive discrimination. For the sake of the argument. You do realise that means that the political left, Dawn Butler, who just said that she implied that Suella Braverman was only hired for that job because of positive discrimination, because she's brown. But you are a supporter of that mentality, Dawn Butler. You and your party and the whole of the political left are in favour of picking people for certain jobs based on their skin colour or their pink hair or their gender or whatever. Tomorrow, I don't know what category we're going to have. So what's wrong with it? That's exactly the politics that you promote. So that was a very good point from Lee Anderson. But he also mentioned what he thinks of Suella.
Suella has been promoted on merit. You know my feelings towards Suella. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She has got balls of steel. She's a superb politician. She's up against it on a daily basis. And for this female MP to say that in public, absolutely disgraceful. Keir Starmer needs to call her out. He needs to have a good, strong word with her, because the people in this country do not like stuff like that. This is disgraceful, Dan. Absolute filth.
Absolute filth. I love how when he gets too extreme with his wording, but I also love how Lee would expect Keir Starmer to have a word with Dawn Butler. You do realise how scared Keir Starmer would be of people like Dawn Butler and many other people in the shadow cabinet. He's not brave enough to stand up to idiocy, because he can't afford to alienate more people from the political left. He's already getting accused of being a right-winger. Keir Starmer, the right-winger. I mean, at this point, considering how left-wing Rishi Sunak's government have gone and their agenda, yeah, Keir Starmer is probably more right-wing than Jeremy Hunt and Rishi Sunak, and the whole thing is very confusing. But Dawn Butler is a special, very special unicorn, because she's at least consistent with his nuttery behaviour. This is a while ago when Priti Patel was still around, and Priti Patel was still relevant somehow. And Dawn Butler said the same thing about Priti. And she signed some sort of letter or something, and the BBC, she went on BBC, even the BBC said, Dawn, you might have gone too far.
From BAME backgrounds. A letter's gone to the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, accusing her of using her heritage to gaslight the racism of people from minority ethnic backgrounds and of black people. Just going through this letter here, you've essentially denied her of her own experience and accused her of gaslighting others. Is that not racist in itself? Why is Priti Patel's experience of racism any less than yours?
For the BBC, that was very impressive. Well done. Because they had to. They had no choice. They couldn't really support that letter. It was too crazy. And to answer the question at the end, why is it that Priti Patel's experience with racism or race is irrelevant, according to Dawn Butler, it's because people like Dawn Butler don't see Priti Patel, Suella Braverman, Tousi, or anybody who's right-wing or is not a communist, but if they're not white, they still see them as white. And women, if they are right-wing, they're not women. They're basically men. So if you're non-white and not a communist, you're white. And if you're a woman, you're not a communist, you're a man. So women are being cancelled on so many different levels. One of them is you have to be left-wing, otherwise it doesn't count. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk to you guys about Germany, because the Germans have missed their net zero target. So they've decided to completely abandon the whole program, and they've chosen coal as one of their energy sources. Let me know what you think. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.